runners for the Saints await Jake Richardson in his second inning of relief, and Jake Richardson spins a fastball outside of the strike zone, and while he did so, his hat flew off as a big giant gust of wind. The wind is just brutal here today. It's gusting. Well, my weather app says at about 30 miles an hour. That's a bold-faced lie. It's at least in the 40s. Curveball swung on and popped up to the right side of the infield along the base paths, and not able to field it is Trace Blue at first as that aforementioned wind got a hold of it and just pushed it a little bit to his right. So Cade Farr is on. We'll see how that's scored, but by all indications will be an error on the first baseman, Trace Blue. But regardless, Cade Farr will take it, and he will also take a courtesy runner as Will Shipman comes in to run for the pitcher. Cade Farr at first. Will Shipman 1 of 1 on stolen bases this season. 7-2 Saints lead, nobody out, and Jake Richardson now faces A.J. Mendolia, who lined out to center in the first and doubled to come around to score an inning ago in the third. And there he takes his first pitch for a strike. Quick look over to Shipman at first, and Jake Richardson, the lefty junior, spins this one, and that's just cued off the end of the bat foul for A.J. Mendolia, who, like so many of these All Saints players, is a multi-sport athlete. Worked his way into the linebacker rotation on the football team this year, and will be a starting LB next year. There's a two-seam fastball also hit off the end of the bat, spoiled foul into the parking lot, out of play along the right side. And that is why at the ballpark, you never park close. Nobody away, runner on first, and Will Shipman for the Saints, up 7-2. No balls, 2 strikes in the 0-2. This one hits line into center field and bounces right in front of Josh Brown, and A.J. Mendolia has his second hit of the ball game. That moves Shipman up to second.
Good Jack.
And yet again, the Saints are threatening with a runner in scoring position with nobody out. This time in the bottom of the fourth. Saints have scored at least 2 runs in every inning so far today. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 an inning ago in the third. Jack Hardgrove, the hard-swinging sophomore who walked an inning ago, came around to score. Swings at this first pitch, and a nice one by Jake Richardson. Strike 1. Popped up to second back in the first. And Jack Hardgrove, after hitting his home run last night, looked like he'd hit 40 of them. He just walked across the plate, took his hat off, tipped it to his teammates in the crowd as he takes a fastball inside for ball 1. Act like he'd done it, at least 10 times in his career, yet that was his first on the varsity level. He said, after the game, he said to me, I practiced it so many times and visualized it so many times, I felt like I'd done it a ton of times. That ball low and away for ball 2. Of course, comes from an excellent lineage. His Jack's father played pro ball, so that helps. 2-1. And this one off the end of the bat and a 2-hopper over to short. Tough play. They get one, and this turns the double play on a 6-4-3. And just by a shoelace as Mendolia was thrown out, and a nice play from Cody Graybeck over to Gage Jordan to turn it around to Trace Blue at first. So just like that, while while Will Shipman does advance over to third, now with 2 outs after the double play. Mason Speaker steps in. Jake Richardson with the first pitch. This outside, ball 1. Mason Speaker 1 for 2, flew out to left in the second and singled an inning ago. This ball dribbles away through the legs of Zach Tilton, and Will Shipman comes in. Yes, the ship has come in for the Saints indeed today on a passed ball. Now up by 6 runs, 8-2 lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Oh my. And this team, which has, as we said earlier, run roughshod throughout taps, the Saints have had their number in 2018, trying to make a series sweep throughout the regular season. Meanwhile, that fastball clips the right side of the plate for strike 1. Swung on, going deep. Mason Speaker lofts one into left, and that one, goodbye. Mason Speaker goes yard for his first home run of 2018. And the Saints continue to pour it on here in the bottom of the 4th, now leading 9-2. A breaking ball that Jake Richardson just hung up for the taking. And a solo shot. And you know what? With the wind today blowing and gusting in close to 40 mile an hour, you could almost toss a ball straight up with your arm and it might carry at this point, but not to take anything away from Mason Speaker at all. His first long ball of his varsity career. Meanwhile, Cedric Bowman knocks one into the gap into right center. This one will not be found. Back-to-back home runs by the Saints. Cedric Bowman's first home run of the year. And oh my, all of a sudden the power is being felt by all Saints. As Hardgrove goes yard last night, Speaker today, and Cedric Bowman right after. That is the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in this Saints lineup, and Mike Robles will take a very short, well, maybe a seemingly long stroll, but he takes his time in doing so all the way to the mound to at least give a talk to his left-handed junior pitcher, Jake Richardson. Will allow him to do that. 3 runs have scored here in the bottom of the 4th, a 10-2 Saints lead. Back here in a moment on the Texas 24/7 television network.